I'm going to show you how to build a complete website with Hostinger from scratch using the Hostinger Website Builder. We'll go from choosing the right plan to creating the website, customizing the design, adding pages in a contact form, connecting your domain, and getting the site published. And before we publish, I'll show you one thing I definitely wouldn't skip, because your site can look great on a computer and still need adjustments on mobile. Here's how to get started. If you haven't signed up for Hostinger yet, I have an exclusive Hostinger discount link and coupon code in the description below that can save you even more on your plan. This is an affiliate link, which means I earn a commission if you purchase through it at no additional cost to you. Once you click the link in the description, you'll be taken to the Hostinger Website Builder page. From here, scroll down to the Website Builder plans. For a basic website, the lower cost premium plan should give most beginners what they need. It includes the Hostinger Website Builder, a free domain name for the first year, and lets you create up to 3 websites. If you're planning to sell products online or want the more advanced business and e-commerce features, I'd go with the business plan instead. For this tutorial, I'm going to choose the Premium Website Builder plan since it should be the best fit for most beginners creating a standard website. On the checkout page, look for where it says Have a Coupon Code and click it. Enter my exclusive Hostinger coupon code here, then click Apply. Once the code is applied, you should see the additional discount reflected in your total. Next, under period, you can choose the term you'd like. The longer terms give you the lowest monthly price, while choosing a shorter term will increase the monthly cost. For the biggest savings, I'd go with the 48-month term, but choose whichever option works best for you. Once you've selected your billing period, you can review the total cost before continuing. Your plan also includes a free domain for the first year. Under Secure Your Domain, enter the domain name you'd like to use for your website. If it's available, select it here and Hostinger will include it with your plan. You'll notice the domain is set to 2 years, which includes the first year free, but charges you for the second year. Under period, change this to 1 year. Once you do that, you'll see the domain showing as free without the additional cost for the second year. Next, you'll see Premium Protection with Domain Shield. This adds extra protection for your domain, including additional time to recover it after expiration and 2-factor authentication for critical domain changes. This is optional and is not required to use your domain or build your website. If you want the additional protection, you can add it here, otherwise you can leave it off and continue. You'll also see that domain privacy protection is included for free. This helps keep your personal contact information private in the public domain registration records. And since it's already included, there's no additional cost here. You'll also see Hostinger Reach offered here for email marketing. You don't need it to build your website, but you can add it if email marketing is something you plan to use. For this tutorial, I'm going to skip it and continue. Once you're happy with your plan, click the Continue button to proceed. On the next page, you'll create your Hostinger account. You can sign up with your email address or use one of the available sign-in options. Enter your information, create your account, and then continue to the payment step. On the payment page, enter your billing and payment information. Before completing your purchase, take one last look at the order summary to make sure your plan, billing period, and coupon discount are all showing correctly. Once everything looks good, complete your payment to finish setting up your Hostinger account. After your purchase is complete, Hosting will walk you through a few setup questions. The first screen asks, who is this website for? Choose the option that best matches your situation, whether you're building the website for yourself, your business, or someone else. For this tutorial, I'll choose the option that applies and click Next. On the next screen, you'll see Create or Migrate your website. If you're starting a new website, choose Create a Website. If you already have a website hosted somewhere else and want to move it to Hostinger, you can choose Migrate a Website instead. Since we're building a website from scratch, I'll select Create a Website and continue. Hostinger will now ask you how you'd like to build your website. You'll see 3 options: WordPress, Hostinger Website Builder, and empty PHP/HTML. For this tutorial, we're using the Hostinger Website Builder, so select that and click Next. You'll now come to the domain setup. Since we registered our domain during checkout, we can select that domain here and use it for the website. If you already own a different domain, you can connect that instead. You can also choose Use Temporary Domain if you'd rather start building first and connect your domain later. For this tutorial, I'll use the domain we registered and continue. Hostinger now gives us the option to create our starting website with AI. This is the route I'd recommend for most beginners because it gets us to something edible much faster. Hostinger will now ask you to describe the website or business you'd like to create. Hostinger will now ask you to describe the website or business you'd like to create. You can write your own description, use one of the suggested options below, or choose one of the pre-made templates. For this tutorial, we're going to create a website for a fictional personal training business called Peak Performance Fitness. I'll enter Peak Performance Fitness provides personalized one-on-one fitness coaching for busy adults. The website should have a modern, energetic design and highlight personal training, strength coaching, customized workout plans, client results, and an easy way to schedule a consultation. The more useful information you give Hostinger about your business and what you want on the website, the better starting point it has to work with. Once you've entered your description, click the arrow to continue. Hostinger will now start generating your website based on the information you provided. While it's being created, you may see this small game you can play while you wait. Once the website is ready, Hostinger will take us into the builder where we can start customizing it. And here's what Hostinger created based on the description we provided. You can take a quick look through the website here and even switch between the desktop and mobile previews at the top. If the overall direction isn't what you wanted, you can choose Edit Idea on the right and make changes. This isn't something I would publish untouched, but that's not really the point. The AI has given us the structure, and now we're going to customize it and turn it into our website. Click Continue to move into the website builder and start editing. Start at the top of the home page. The first section visitors see is extremely important because they should immediately understand what this website is about. I'll click this heading and replace the AI generated text. Instead of something generic, let's use build strength, feel better, train smarter. Below that, personalized coaching designed around your goals, schedule, and fitness level. Then we have our main button. I change this to book a consultation and link it to our contact section. Notice what we're doing here. We're not redesigning everything from scratch. We're taking the structure Hostinger created and replacing it with specific content. That's much faster. To change an image, select the image, click Edit section, and choose the Replace option. You can upload your own photography, use available images, or use the image tools available inside the builder. I'd replace this with our own image. Already, the website feels much less like an AI-generated template. This is probably the most important part of learning the builder. Think of your page as sections, and inside those sections are individual elements. If you want an entirely new part of the page, I can add a section. For example, we could add testimonials, services, a contact form, images, a call to action, or another content section. I'll add a testimonial section here, then replace the example review with an actual customer testimonial once you have one. If you only need one item rather than an entire section, use Add Element. This lets you drag things like text, images, buttons, forms, and other individual elements directly onto the page. Hostinger's current builder supports adding custom sections and individual page elements through the editor. Once you understand those two things, sections and elements, most of the builder becomes pretty straightforward. Rather than changing every heading and button individually, set the general website style. Choose fonts that are easy to read. Keep your color palette simple. Usually you want one main color, one accent color, a light background, dark readable text. Avoid using 5 or 6 competing colors just because the builder lets you. See how changing this setting updates the design much faster than manually editing every section. That's the type of shortcut that keeps the site consistent. Now let's make sure visitors can actually move around the website. Open Pages and Navigation. Depending on what Hostinger generated, you may already have several pages. For a basic business website, I normally want something like Home, About, Services, Contact. You don't need 10 pages just because you can create them. To add another page, choose the option to add a page. I'll create Services. Then we can build this page using the exact same system we just used on the home page. Add a heading. Add your services. Include a short explanation of each one, and give visitors a clear next action. Hostinger currently allows additional pages to be created and managed from the website builder's page navigation controls. Our services page now appears in the menu. If you're not planning to sell products on your website, you can skip this part. But if you want to turn your website into an online store, Hostinger Website Builder also has e-commerce features built in. From the website builder, go to Online Store and choose the option to set up your store. You'll be taken to the store management area where you can manage your products, orders, and store settings. To add your first product, go to Products and click Add Product. Hostinger gives you several different product types to choose from, including physical products, digital products, services, appointments, donations, and more. For this example, I'll choose a physical product. From here, add your product images, enter the product name, description, and price. If needed, you can also add product options such as different sizes or colors and manage your inventory. Once everything looks good, save the product. Your product is now added to the store, and you can continue adding additional products the same way. Before you can start accepting orders, you'll also want to set up your payment methods, and if you're selling physical products, your shipping options. You can manage those from the store settings. I'm not going to go through the entire e-commerce setup in this tutorial because that could be a full video on its own. But this gives you the basic process for adding a store and getting your products onto the website. For most small business websites, I definitely keep a contact form so visitors have an easy way to reach you. Hostinger has already added one to the contact page, so click the form to customize it. You don't need to ask visitors for too much information. Usually name, email, and message is enough. If your business needs something specific, you can add another field. Make sure the notification email is correct so you can actually receive messages when someone submits the form. You can also choose which fields are required and adjust what happens after someone submits the form. Once that's set, your contact page is ready to use. Before publishing, this is the check I mentioned at the beginning. Switch from desktop to the mobile view. Hostinger makes the site responsive, but I still recommend looking through every important page yourself. Check headings, buttons, images, spacing, navigation, contact forms. If something feels too large or awkward, adjust it here. Hostinger allows desktop and mobile layouts to be adjusted separately in several ways, including repositioning elements and changing mobile text sizing. It also provides an autofix layout option in the mobile editor. A website can look excellent on this big desktop preview and still feel completely different on a phone. So don't skip this. There's one more thing I'd set up before publishing. Open your website settings and find SEO Settings. Don't let this section intimidate you. For a beginner, focus on the basics. Choose your homepage. Give it a clear SEO title. For this example, Personal Trainer, Peak Performance Fitness. Then write a short description explaining what the page offers. Something like personalized fitness, coaching and strength training from Peak Performance Fitness, explore training options, and schedule a consultation. Check your page URL. Then repeat the important settings for your other major pages. Hostinger's current SEO settings allows you to edit page titles, meta descriptions, URLs, and other search settings. And its AI SEO assistant can also help generate SEO information. Don't turn this into a 2-hour SEO project before your website is even live. Set up the fundamentals, then improve the site over time. Now we're ready to replace the temporary address with our actual domain. If your Hostinger plan included a free domain and you've already claimed it, select that domain. If you own a domain somewhere else, you can connect that instead. Hostinger supports assigning either a custom domain or a subdomain to website builder sites after they've initially been created. Follow the connection prompts until the domain is assigned to the website. If you've just changed domain settings, don't panic if everything doesn't appear instantly. Hostinger notes that domain changes can take up to 24 hours to propagate globally in some cases. Take one last look at the homepage, test the navigation, click the main buttons, check the contact form, check mobile, and once everything looks good, click Publish Website or Go Live, depending on what your current screen shows. And your website is now live. This is the important difference between what we started with and what we have now. The AI gave us the starting point, but we changed the content, images, pages, navigation, contact form, mobile layout, SEO settings, and domain to make the website our own. And if you need to change something later, you're not locked into this version. You can return to hosting your website builder, make your edits, and update the live site again. If you haven't created your Hostinger account yet, you can use the discount link in the description below to get started and follow the same steps used in this tutorial.